Alright then, man, where we going now? That's the question, isn't it? Interesting, look at it. Oh, I wasn't expecting that pause. Damn, Alex is starting to remind me so much of Nurgle, man. Like, you know, just the way his vocals sound. Very much in that black metal style, man, like, or black and death metal style, should I say. But obviously, Saphath on that genre as well. Just his vocal style reminds me of it so much. That style, interesting. But only, like, his, like, when he goes into his mids-ish, like, his mids sound very much like that proper black and death style. And his highs, not at all. And his lows are proper low as well, so... And like the little bits of his lows we got were actually really, really nicely low, proper, demonically low, man, which is nice to see. And still, let's see. A moonlight beam disappeared in the mist, like a blade in a black velvet shroud that embraces a lonely house, shallow, forsaken, a church that has never known God's soul. Like, the moonlight beam goes away, right? It disappears into the mist, it's not there anymore. That moonlight beam is like a blade. It's like something that pierces straight down. It pierces, that embraces a lonely house that's been forsaken, that's never known God at all. But does it house that God? Does it have those things? Is it going, or is it about to, like, you know what I mean, right? Is it going to be that way? Is it going to accept? Is it going to change into that way? Is it going to turn into something like a cult of some kind, man? But maybe this is just all one big, massive grandeur towards a literal entity. But still, that's what I'm assuming so far. Broken life, broken mirror. Silver shards are painted red. Broken past, the dam is broken. The crimson river broke out on porcelain banks. So, broken life, broken mirror. So, the life is broken, right? The mirror is gone, so you can't see yourself. Or you can't see how you view your actions. If you can't look at yourself in the mirror, then you can't see what you've done, you can't understand your conscience, you can't do those things, right? Silver shards are painted red, so generally silver shards, or like silver, should we say silver bullets, are generally like a werewolf thing, right? Like silver is meant to kill werewolves. Like, that's a known random fact from movies and stuff. Broken past, the dam is broken, so your life is gone, you can't look at yourself, you can't see what you've become. The past is gone, the past is effed up, it's whichever way, and the entire dam is broken, so as it happens, the Crimson River broke out on porcelain banks. So the Crimson River is a literal, like, wound. It's a literal, like, crimson river floating from the body, or piercing from the body, should I say. And something is bleeding, should we say. Why, you are dead, yet your heart has never known life. Lonely spirit that slept on the edge of a knife, like, yes, and somebody literally, like, went all the way down, I would imagine, or somewhere at the very least, man, they were so depressed, so distraught whichever way, that they just wanted to end it. They just let the crimsonness flow, man. It's just whichever way you want to go about it, and so on and so on. So let's keep going. Interesting. Insight potion, man, let's go. I like this. This is a very cool effect to him. Although Crystal should have not effect. Ooh, man, that guitar sounds gorgeous, man. Ominous as fuck, mate, but still. What does this remind me of, man? I know it's influenced by something, man. It sounds so similar to something. I can't think of it. You'll have to let me know. Yeah, makes sense, man. Makes total sense, right? So let's go through the rest of this now, man. Who looked at you through the glass when you were looking away? Who called upon you there in your dreams, manipulating your pain, man? So who was looking at you while you weren't even there? Who was manipulating everything about you? Who was doing these things to you? Like, who went into your dreams? Who was manipulating your pain to get you to do whatever? Who was deceiving you? What darkness was taking hold of you? Like, you get that idea, right? The flourished beauty was deceived by the darkness that had veiled your dreary eyes. Was it there? In your sorrowful reflection? In your countless lonely nights? Like, yeah, the flourished beauty was deceived by the darkness that had veiled your dreary eyes. Like, as in beauty, like, deceived the darkness, or deceived by the darkness, right? Like, generally, beauty is meant to be a brightness, like, say, like, you know, say, nowadays speaking, Instagram models and stuff like that. How they claim to be, that's the epitome, that's where you want to go, that's the standard, and it's just BS basically. It's not a real thing, it's not like a thing that should ever hold any weight towards you because it's not real. It's not one of those things, it's a more darkness, it's a more ploy to lure you into that superstition, to that way of them living that way, that's how they generate income. So obviously they have to go towards those stereotypes. And it's just the same way here, man. Like, beauty doesn't have to mean good. It doesn't have to mean purity or whatever, man. Mostly beauty means darkness because there's a lot of bad stuff in that world too. So that's why you can see it in that way, right? So that, was it there? In your soulful reflection, so looking at yourself in the mirror. In your countless lonely nights, and obviously that's a given considering the depression part of this. As you choose to walk the lonely path, fear shall not be your guide. A corrupted soul cannot see through dimensions, as blind eyes cannot see light. Yeah, I agree. Totally. Like, a corrupted soul cannot see through dimensions because a blind eye cannot see the light, so... If you're blind, like, how eyes work, right? Light goes in, it comes back out, right? That's how we see. Like, in a basic way. And obviously our brain, we see backwards, and then our brain flips it. And, yeah. Or do we see upside down? I think it's upside down, then it flips it, whichever way. And then, yeah, so that's why it's like, a corrupted soul cannot see through dimensions. It's exactly like that, because if you're blind, light doesn't work with your eyes. So, if you're corrupted, if your soul is corrupted into such a way, dimensions will never open to you, you'll never get through them. As a lot of people, well, me personally, I believe in the power of souls, or the power of energy, should we say. And that, regardless of what happens, right? Like, energy never dissipates, it just changes. And that's what the dimensions could, like, conceivably be that he's talking about here. That's what I'm assuming anyway. Innocence is trampled, false virtues are anthemed. Slumbering mind is pregnant with monsters. So, The innocence is gone, man. The virtues, like, are anthem. That's what the Bible is. That's what religion is. False virtues are anthemed. They're following the crowd. They're being a sheep. They're literally spewing virtues which they've never adhered to. They would never adhere to. It's not part of their nature. It just does not work. You know what I mean? It's, yes, they say it, but saying something and believing something are two completely different things, in my opinion, man. So the slumbering mind is pregnant with monsters. That makes sense, right? Cries for salvation are branded as blasphemy. Yeah, it's true, because if you cry for salvation, if you cry for help, if you cry for these things, you're going against either the commandments or whichever religion you adhere to, right? It can be branded as blasphemy because you're going against the teachings, the writings, whichever way. Such as, let's use a simple example. If you have a baby and you have a stillbirth, or you have like a dead birth, or I can't remember the exact term for it, but you know, where you have a birth where like it's stillborn, should we say, like, or like you have an abortion, or whichever way, like, you know, where the baby's just gone for whatever reason, then if that baby was never christened, that baby is burning forever and ever and ever, according to the Bible. So it makes sense, right? Like, blaspheming is very easy to do if you go against the basic principles of what's written down. And weirdly, most of the ones which people anthem are the ones which barely have any writings about them, like the anti-gay is very much, I think it's 1 or 2 passages at most, where there's so many other virtues that are way more like prevalent within it, and you get the idea. The silent submission has always been fostered. Yeah, as in silent submission is always the way, man. People follow the crowd. People are sheep for the most part, man. They just follow what they are taught. They follow what the world does, because you get ridiculed if you don't. You get made fun of. You get your ideas, your dreams trampled upon. That's what I've always had with my opinions, my ideas, my being different, because I've always been this way really since I was a teenager. Like, I decided to be myself, and I wasn't going to really give anything up for anybody, and that isn't really I'm never going to change for anybody. It's not my thing. It's not what I want to do. I've done too much of that in my life now, and I've seen what it does when you do, and it's not worth it. It's never worth it. Always be yourself, always stand up for yourself, always hold your virtues apparent, because that's a real thing you have to do in life. And garnet tears dry upon your bracelet, the silky dress a burial gown even. Hide your beauty in darkness of your room, your coffin, and the lonely house would be your grave. So yeah, basically, like, with everything here, how everything is being hidden within the room, within the house, within the one that's never seen a god, within the one of everything, because of that darkness, because of you're not seeing your own self-worth, your own beauty, your own everything else. You are shutting yourself away, and it will eventually become your tomb, your grave, whichever way. And obviously, we go back into this bit, then broken future, a pillaged garden. Flowers will never grow and the song won't be played. Yeah, exactly. If you shut yourself away, if you don't allow your talents to come out to be whatever you want them to be, then things won't go to the way you want. There'll be no future. Everything will be gone. A pillaged garden is like, the dreams will be scattered. They'll go away. Your ideas will never, ever, ever flourish. And you get the idea, right? Makes sense. So yeah, let's finish this. Such a deep song, man. So deep. It's taken me almost 15 minutes to do this, man. Saphath is so deep, man. It's crazy. I love the bass line too. The bass line's so nice underneath this.